is the following is from the Spindle archives. Been sitting on this story for a really long time. The Donna Screen location. Now, how does the Donna Screen location apply to the Lost Creek mine? Well, in 1995, stories emerged that a couple found a location which they thought was the Lost Creek mine, as they tracked it down according to clues left behind by Jackson. A surprise. And they found the canyon, and it had been dug up by an excavator. There were tailings piles there. They found a tent-shaped rock with a mark on it. And so they wrapped it all up in a little bow. The lost mine had been found. They found it, and it was empty. It had been dug up by an excavator. Story over. So Daryl comes along, which is me, with his Spindle website, Spindle Quest, Spindle Explorations as it was called then. God rest its soul. It is being rebuilt, if anybody cares. The old one is still... Yeah, anyway, that's a long, sad story, amongst many other long, sad stories. But let's continue on with the Donna Screen documents. So, without further ado, here are the emails I received after she read my stuff on the internet that was published. First few chapters of Seekers of Gold. Do not, I repeat, be swayed by that horrible review it's got online. But I'm sure many of you are. Anyway, continue on Donna Screen. Here we go. Daryl, your post regarding Slumach is most interesting. Like you, the old mine was in my blood for many years. Are you talking here of Slumach's gold or Jackson's gold? You see, Donna, of course, figuring out they're separate. Have you ever been to Pit Lake? Yes, I have. Have you studied the air photos of the area? Yes, I have. I believe that I found the area of Jackson's mine in an air photo study. Join the club. After unsuccessful attempts to hike in, my husband and I choppered in. Good idea. I believe it was 1995. Good year. I had forgotten about the lost mine in that year, and I was down on Rotan Island and scouting the Mitchell Hedges chest. I took a trip down there, and it was an awesome year. No Slumach. Didn't miss him. The pyramid-shaped rock that Jackson talked of was there. The cross on it, a vein in the rock. The tailing piles from the time when someone else had choppered machinery and worked it were there, but nothing more. I wish that I'd brought a water sample from one creek out with me. I believe that it would have shown a good percentage of arsenic. We have taken our own water with us, as arsenic poisoning was the best explanation that I could come up with for Jackson's illness and death. Maybe influenza might have had something to do with it as well. That's my... One little creek in the area had the clearest color to the water, but there was a white sediment on the rocks of the creek bottom that was visible for about a quarter of a mile. I gave this information, as well as the exact location, to a man that was going to chopper in there earlier in the fall, and asked him to let me know how he made out, but I have heard nothing back from him. If you've researched, you know that there is historical evidence of at least two others who know the location of Jackson's find. One was Tiny Allen, who gave a map of the location to his sister or sisters. Let us pause on the Tiny Allen note there for 1 second and discuss this man for 1 minute. I believe he was up by the Gadsby, and he looked down in there and he saw the big rock in that particular canyon Corbold. But I might be wrong. One was Tiny Allen, who gave a map of the location to his sister or sisters. Another was a man named Brown, not Volcanic Brown, written up by an author named Don Waite. This is all from memory. That Brown would be Stuart Brown. This is all from memory, so my spelling or exact names may be a bit off. If you know the location and plan to go in there, take care. It's no place to take for granted. Best of luck, Donna Screen. That's email number 1. Daryl, I do not wish to be included in a novel. I was writing stuff. However, the area where we were in is many miles north of the head of Pit Lake. It is one of the parks up there. Yes, that park is Garibaldi. We dug on the south side of the boulder, but to no avail.
The rock is not a rock as such. It's part of the formation. The area fits the description of Jackson, but I cannot imagine Slumach getting any of his babes to get there. Well, that's because Slumach probably didn't have any babes. He did not. He was hung for murdering Louis B. The babes were added by the newspapers to sensationalize the story, as media has always done. Likes to sensationalize. Didn't really give that one up. Just kind of evolved into other things. But anyway, moving right along. The rock is not a rock as such. It's part of the formation. The area fits the description of Jackson, but I cannot imagine Slumach getting any of his babes to go there. If Slumach and Jackson had the same area, Slumach would have to get his gold out to storage place and then entice his women there. I would not like to give you information that will lead anyone in there. It's a dangerous place. This is something that seems to run the course, this same line, that the place is really dangerous from anybody who's actually really been there for a certain amount of time. As, as Stuart Brown said to me, no one in the right mind would ever really want to go in there. Tell you one thing, my personal opinion, nobody who looks for Slumach or the Lost Creek Mine is ever in their right mind. Myself included. I would not like to give you information that would lead anyone in there. It's a dangerous place, and I would feel responsible if someone lost life or limb there. Otherwise, I have no problem with sharing info I don't intend to return. I suppose that you've read and reread the Jackson's letter. I've been out for 2 months, and I found myself running short of grub. One can't carry much of a pack in these hills, because, kind of. Do you believe that he and Slumach had the same location? No. Jackson's letter, do you believe that he and Slumach had the same location? No. There is the possibility of more than one occurrence of gold in that remote area. Yes, indeed. The man to whom I gave info earlier had found what he thought to be the location farther north from where we were. I wish he had informed me of his luck or lack of it. That's an interesting note right there to pause on. The man I had given info earlier had found what he thought to be the location further north from where we were. Well, it's interesting because further north from where she is takes it further north than anything, which is away from like Misty Lake or Terra Rosa. My map also shows an area of lava in there. If we were younger and had nothing to do for a summer, that would be an area to check out. Are you simply writing a novel or searching for the location also? I am searching for the location also. If I remember correctly from Donald Waite's account, Brown was trying to sell the location to the BC government. He was not trying to sell it to them. He was trying to show it to them. Do you have any evidence that he did that? There isn't any evidence because he didn't try and sell it to them. He tried to get permission to stake it. If you take Jackson's letter and read it very carefully, taking each piece of information in it as gospel, and have your map in front of you, you should come out to the location. He's very precise. The problem that we all have is putting our own private interpretation on what we read. I did that for too long. Donna.